Hello everyone and welcome along to the Gliders on Bet WGB TV. Mano Sebastian once again standing in as your host, and I've got my favorite guys with me on set today. I've got Felix sitting right in the middle, and of course Timothy just directly opposite me. Always opposite me. It's not changing his position, it's not switching positions. I don't tell producer one day maybe you go
change
position.
Sweet in the middle. Sweet in the middle. I like it.
Okay. Who sing that song again? Sir? There's one song like that. I'm trying to.
Davido, a few people.
Davido.
And some other people, some like about two. Yeah, and then like I think two other guys.
Anyway, I don't know the song, but I just that chorus I know. I just drop from my head. Nobody say I didn't think anything. But,
then I remember the last episode we had where we won't fight on this set.
Oh yeah, no, you won't fight.
We won't fight.
Rashida and gets the
You
job
won't fight Nigeria.
Well, guys, it's still the Gliders on Bet WGB TV. Quite a lot happened in the last couple of days. Lionel Messi, David Beckham finally got their hands on the MLS title. I mean, another trajectory for David Beckham and his career since he owned that franchise. I mean, quite a lot. William Trezeguet called his retirement from the Super Eagles national team. Mohamed Salah, I mean, it was an explosive bombshell over the weekend. Liverpool again dropping points from winning position as well. A few days to the AFCON as well. We'll be building up to that. Is the Gliders, of course, we'll be there in Morocco to bring you the very best of content from that pretty North African country. But we'll go on a very first break on the show. When we return, so many things to talk about, and we get into it right about after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's still the Gliders on Bet WGB TV, and like we always remind you on the show, you can always enjoy the very best of the Bet WGB platform. Just log on to the website, sign up on the platform, and use our promo code Gliders to enjoy some bonus credits. Remember, stake wisely and bet responsibly. Guys, let's kickstart with the World Cup draws. I mean, the biggest football tournament in the world. Not arguably, or is he arguably to anybody? Is he arguably to anybody? The biggest
sporting tournament in the world. Maybe minus the Olympics.
No, maybe not sporting, football. But if you want to say sporting in general,
maybe minus the Olympics. Because I just thought about the Olympics now. Because that one has a lot more people involved, a lot more nations involved in it. But yeah, certainly if you are talking about specific sports, not the one that binds everything together, I think football is the biggest one in the world. And even the Americans, I heard Donald Trump at the World Cup draws. He was saying they have a conflicting this with soccer, football. But there on that stage, he said maybe they would have to change the name of the NFL. Because if you think about it, football, you play it with your legs. And that is what we do in what they call soccer. Football, unlike the NFL, they throw the ball, they chase, and they badge into each other. So he said maybe they might have to find it. And I said, yes, you people should stop that soccer,
and then
football.
Even Rio Ferdinand corrected Kevin Hart. I'm telling him that if they can maintain calling it football, he would appreciate that rather than calling it soccer. I mean, it was an interesting draw. Firstly, starting with the likes of Kevin Hart and the old drama. It was fun. Kevin Hart would always be fun. And placing it at the, I think they did it in Washington. The president of the United States was there. The Prime Minister of Canada was there. The president of Mexico was also there. It was an interesting one, but I mean, I really liked Infantino's presentation, and it shows you how much when you want to have someone who is leading a position like FIFA, you need someone who is very, very intelligent. I mean, the way he spoke, the way he carried himself, the idea he brought. I mean, when he brought on the presidents, Trump, the Prime Minister of Canada, and also the President of Mexico, when he brought them to the stage, and he thought that, people already had the idea that, okay, it was Ferdinand and what's her name again? Samantha.
Yeah, they were
going to handle the draws. So when he now came and said he was going to change a few things, and he brought them to the stage, and okay, we felt they were going to be the one that handle the draw, but all of those things were just the filming. I mean, we're in an age of where you need to be creative, content, and all of those things. So it was a show, and he made it a show. He brought them. Apparently, everything in the ball was for Canada, and for the part of Mexico, everything in that.
No, their balls were actually colored. They gave an update before the draws.
No, what I'm saying, for the one he brought up the president, everything in that ball obviously was Canada
whatever they
this
picked was
because
going to be-
there's no way there was that synergy because when he called them out for Canada, he picked Canada. For Mexico,
that's what I'm saying.
she
FIFA
picked
already
Mexico.
clarified before the draws
There
that
was a
those teams were
clarification
going to
before.
be in that group. So whatever they were going to pick, they just had to do. That was mere formality.
And that's why I'm
They
saying
just-
that okay, for that ball that they used on that for the presidents,
Yeah.
they used the balls that were for their nation because even Donald Trump had to turn the ball so low that I was
And
thinking
they
something
made
was going
one
to be
small
different.
joke like, are you sure you picked the line?
Yeah. So it was all fun and interesting, and they brought about the Peace Prize award. I don't know what that means, but I mean, in politics, you have to play a few games to be able to get what you want. So all of those things are understandable. It was really fun, and the music part was also fun, and really nice.
Overall, I liked the draws, but I think I fall into the part of the what's it called now? The Scottish coach. What's his name again?
Steve Clark.
Steve Clark. Yeah, he said it took too long. It was running for like almost 5 hours. And I was
and even before the start of the draws, I saw some complaints from few journalists getting into the queue before you could get into the hall for the it was under the snow as well.
There were a lot happening in that place. It's a draw. People want to know who they are playing. Yes, I know the whole music, and I particularly love
like
live
that football
music.
song.
Yeah.
I love live music. It is one thing that I drag Nigerian artists for. Like you call your concert or you call a show, and you are doing track 1, track 2. Why did I not just go on my listening app?
Yeah.
Go and listen to the song again. You do track, and I'm hearing they don't mute your mic. We are singing to what is playing in the CD. Give me something. So I loved the live band and all of that, but it took too long. If they can maximize the time and make it a bit shorter.
But I think it was expected. It's a 48-team draw. It's a draw that has about 3 teams, 3 nations. It's going to be hosted in 3 nations. Maybe.
But I don't think the whole thing was just the draw in itself. From the red carpet.
Yeah, the show part.
The main part. But now let's look at the teams now that have been drawn. I'm just going to quickly run through the groups. In Group A, we have Mexico, South Africa, Korea Republic, and of course we've still got some playoffs to prosecute. So the fourth and final team in this group is going to be coming from one of the European playoffs. It's going to be Czech, Denmark, Ireland, or Macedonia. So these are the teams. Mexico, South Africa.
I think Denmark would take that for me.
Yeah, Mexico. No, there's not. Okay, in the playoffs.
Yes.
So Denmark is going to complete the team
I
for
think
you.
Denmark.
Mexico, South Africa, the opening game in the 2010 World Cup.
2010.
Yeah.
Shabalala.
Shabalala will continue to make that moment till you forever. It's always going to be a great moment when it comes to the World Cup, and good to see South Africa back in the World Cup. So Group B, Canada. There's also another team from the European playoffs. There's Qatar, and there's also Switzerland. Group C, Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Scotland complaining that they will have a 2 a.m. kickoff against Haiti in their opening. The scheduling has been done as well, so the date, time, and the kickoffs as well. Brazil, Morocco, another fixture to keep an eye on as well. In Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, and also one of the teams from the European playoffs. Group E, Germany, Curacao, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. Slight chance for Ivory Coast to make it from this group, if you ask me. Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Albania, Ukraine, one of the playoff teams, and also Tunisia. Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, New Zealand. Egypt, one of the African teams to also make it from this group, if you ask me. In Group H, we have Spain, Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. In Group I, we have France, Senegal, Bolivia, Ireland, Suriname, and also Norway. In Group J, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. In Group K, Portugal, Uzbekistan, Colombia, also one of the teams in the Interconfederations playoff. In Group L, England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. Not too many giving Ghana a chance from this group, and that is the final group in the World Cup. So let's look at the African teams starting from this final group I just mentioned now. England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Any chance for our brothers?
Okay, so the way this World Cup will obviously work, we know that there will be that place where the third best placed teams will come in.
Of them.
Yeah, so for Ghana, they probably have a chance. When you play against England, try not to, if you're not going to win or if you're not going to get a draw, try not to concede too many goals, because that will be the factor and that will determine some of those things. Okay, best placed teams and all that. I think they can undo Panama.
That's their first game.
Yeah,
win that game
and then you're in a good position.
Sure.
So
last 4.
Exactly. So
last 8.
I think they have a chance of qualifying from that group.
Felix, let me come to you now on Group J. Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Algeria, the African team there. Good chance for the admirers and the
Another
people.
one where I see maybe a best loser qualification for Algeria. We've got Argentina. We've got
Austria.
Austria are a very good side, managed by Ralf Rangnick.
Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan I don't know so much about, but we'll find out about them in the World Cup. I saw a lot of the, was it the Algerian coach who was speaking, and he said they don't know much about the Jordan team, but now that they know that they are playing them,
then
they find
have
out
to,
about them. It is what a 48 Nations World Cup gives you. Teams that you probably don't expect to qualify for the World Cup would eventually get a place there. So I think at worst, Algeria should be qualifying as one of the best losers. At best, one of maybe finishing behind Argentina. I don't see them topping that group. I see Argentina easily winning that group.
Quickly, still you, Felix. Group I, we have France, Senegal, Norway, and one of the teams from the Interconfederation playoffs, Bolivia, Iraq, or Suriname. Interesting group. We're going to see how Haaland and Mbappe go in this one. But for Senegal, do they stand a chance?
I'm fascinated about that colonial battle. France versus Senegal, because there are some people who have Senegalese roots. Yes, a lot of people. There are a few players who have Senegalese roots that will be playing for France. And there are some people that fail to play for the French national team. Maybe they played during age grade. They will be seeing some of their teammates that made it.
Probably
to the
like
national team
India,
on the other side, and they will be playing against them. I'm particularly interested in that one. But I'm also, somebody said, no, he won't go World Cup. No, he won't go World Cup. They don't give them teams, World Cup teams now. So that's a very tough group. I would not be surprised if Norway probably qualify as one of the 2 teams, because they have a very solid squad. Erling Haaland, Odegaard, Solot, Ostergaard, Sonderberger. They have very, very good players in that team, and a very good manager too, managing that team. So I would not be surprised if they pick one of the 2 direct slots into the round of 32. However, I see Senegal maybe pulling their weight in that group. Also, maybe giving... It's not clear for me. A lot of people will say, on paper, France should win that group easily. I don't think. I expect them to drop the ball maybe in one of those games, and maybe it would get to the last game of the group before we find out who is first in that group.
Timothy, Group H, we've got Spain, Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay.
I don't think Cape Verde has any chance. In Saudi Arabia, we had the last World Cup, and we saw how they played against Argentina. Even the second and third group stage games before they eventually fell out, we saw how much they were good. And they are managed by a very good manager in Hervé Renard. So I don't think it's their first time. I don't
think they want to make a statement.
Yeah, that's the thing. You come to the World Cup, try to pull a statement, but I mean, Saudi Arabia, we had the last World Cup, and at their qualification also, they were very decent. So it's not like, they're a side where they are maybe being managed by someone very, very new. So they have been in that consistent run at this point in time for themselves. So I don't think they have a chance, but yeah, they can always try to pull their luck. We'll see their women at the World Cup as well. So all of those things, but I don't think they have a chance. Uruguay would always, there's no way Uruguay will play against Cape Verde and you expect them to be scared. It may not be the Uruguay of the likes of Luis Suarez, Edison Cavani and all that, but they've still got the same players, the likes of Federico Valverde and all of those players. So it's going to be difficult for Cape Verde to get anyone. I don't see them progressing from this group at all.
So let's talk about Mo Salah's Egypt. They've been grouped in Group G again alongside Belgium, Iran and New Zealand. They have to make it from this group.
This is the one place where I see the African team maybe having a chance of topping the group.
Honestly, yes, because Belgium have not been.
Belgium have been here and there. Their qualification process was not great. They are trying to rebuild after their, in quotes, golden generation fluffed their lines. Egypt is there. Egypt will be playing against one of the Arabic brother in Iran. And when they play those Arabic Cup, Egypt usually thump all of those teams in there alongside Morocco in that particular Arabic region. So this is the one place where I can say, okay, an African team has a very good chance of topping the group. But again, we've seen Egypt and some other African countries at tournaments. They go there.
Yeah, I was going to say, for Egypt, even the World Cup run, they've not really had a good... Yeah. And whenever they go, they've not like they've done so well for themselves.
And this current Egypt team, they have some decent player, Mamouche, even though he's not turning up for Manchester City yet.
Sure.
But for Egypt, It usually comes up clutch for them. They have
Salah.
Salah. Yeah. So I expect this is the one place I expect them to give it a fight to try and top the group.
Let's talk about the AFCON defending champions, Ivory Coast. They've been grouped in Group E, the Germany, Curacao, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador.
Germany, firstly, they are not the most decent side. The way it's not Germany that you knew in the
And
past
they're on
years.
the corner now.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not the Germany you knew in the past years, and maybe Ivory Coast can stand a chance. That said, against Ecuador would always be that team that they'll come to the World Cup or any tournament and they'll fight. Even at the Copa America, I think they were at the semi-final of the last Copa America, if I'm not mistaken, and they would always come with a very, very strong fight. It's going to be difficult for Ivory Coast, but that said, Ivory Coast are also a decent side. Luckily for them, they have the likes of Amad Diallo. They've got good players. I don't know if Sebastian Haller will be fit to be able to go and play the competition, but I mean, we saw them at the last AFCON. As much as they were bad in the group stages, which some people have termed a coaching problem, we saw them from the run of probably the round of 16 up onto the final. And the tournament football, if you can maybe get into that next round, why not? It's just about winning, and which was what they did at the AFCON. So they stand a chance of at least a top 2 finish for me.
This one, Group C, is interesting. I think it's one that one of our African brothers needs to make a real statement. Morocco, Brazil, Haiti, and Scotland. Any chance for Morocco? I mean, we saw what they did in the last World Cup, but this is a tough group. Really tough.
When the draw was made, there was that eye contact that Walid Regragui, the coach of Morocco, when they mentioned Brazil, Morocco, I think looking at him, maybe was trying to look for Carlo Ancelotti in Ziol and all of those things, but there was that smirk on his face that this is going to be interesting. For Brazil, Morocco, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, Brazil, they've not shown that they can be Brazil that we used to know growing up, but I mean, they are managed by a man right now currently that knows how to win tournament football, that knows how to play tournament football, and maybe we can say that Morocco has a chance, but all through running through the group, I don't think that Morocco should have any issues qualifying in this group. That said, Scotland may be the issue, but Scotland also, I don't think if you are matching Scotland against Morocco, you can say Morocco are even better than Scotland. If you come off the back of the last World Cup, Morocco got to the semi-finals, and
Scotland wasn't in Qatar.
Yeah, so I mean, if you go back
this
to
current Scotland team, though.
What's about this current Scotland team?
McTominay, McGee.
There's nothing about this current Scotland team. They did not have it easy when they qualified for the World Cup. Their run was not smooth as I say.
This team denied Denmark automatic qualification.
That's what I'm saying. Their run was not smooth. I mean, there's some. It's not like Norway had Italy and all of those other things, and they qualified very easily. So Scotland has to struggle. That said, I'm not downplaying that qualification, but I'm saying it's not like they had it so smooth where Morocco can now say, we should be scared of them. If it was like a Brazil, Morocco, England team, I mean, then I could be saying, they would have it very, very difficult. But it's just Scotland. No, I don't think they should be worried. That said, it doesn't mean that it's going to be so easy. I understand. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
So we all are agreeing that Haiti will be the whipping boys of this group.
Yeah.
Finally, Group A, where we have South Africa, Mexico, Korea Republic, and one of the teams from the European playoffs, Czech Republic, Denmark, Ireland, or Macedonia. Any chance for the Bafana in this?
That could have been Nigeria playing the first game.
Sorry, don't take me back, please. Just move.
Painful. But yeah, South Africa, Mexico, like we said at the top of the show, a repeat of the 2010 opening game, and once again, what a coincidence, opening game of the
16 years later
World Cup. Balanced game. Mexico maybe slight edge because they are playing at home. It's the first game of the tournament. Their fans will be up for it. And South Africa are not known to be great when they step out of the shores of Africa. In fact, out of the shores of South Africa, they are not known to be that great. Maybe recently they've been trying with the AFCON, getting to the semi-finals and all of that. But I tip Mexico slightly to maybe win that group. And then South Africa have a solid chance to qualify either as the second placed team in that group or one of the best losers. But they should not get knocked out after the group stage.
I think Korea are very, very... I don't know. It depends on who come into that group. So you mentioned Denmark, who again? Czech Republic.
Yeah,
Who else again?
Macedonia.
Macedonia and
That
Ireland.
might be the group of.
I don't
depending on who comes
think Macedonia will come in. No disrespect to them. There's no way I see Macedonia coming in. So if you are looking at maybe the likes of Denmark, Czech Republic, and Republic of Ireland, then
I like how you were blunt with this year.
then if it's going to be one of Czech Republic, Denmark, and Ireland, if it's Czech Republic, I think they can manage themselves well. But if it's Denmark, sorry to say, I don't think South Africa would be able to qualify from this group, because we know Korea at the World Cup, they would always come very, very tough, and if they
always have a game plan when
exactly,
it comes to World Cups.
and they would want to always at least win one or two, win one game or even draw one. So South Africa should maybe pray that Macedonia comes into the group. But I mean, if it's going to be Denmark,
but
Czech
then
Republic
again,
or Ireland,
if Macedonia can beat the Denmark that you are tipping to come out from that group, Ireland,
I understand. There is now going to be difficult for
then
more
maybe
difficult
they have
a chance to beat South Africa.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Well, that's the World Cup draws done and dusted, waiting for the playoffs teams to also make it official for all the
I hope
participating
DR Congo
teams
makes it.
in the World Cup. We also hope they make it. So I want to see them at the World Cup.
I don't hope anybody makes it.
But we touched on the African teams now, but just as we all know, before the World Cup, there's the AFCON to prosecute for these African teams. Now that will lead us to our next talking point. The Super Eagles released a 50-man, if I'm not mistaken, 55-man provisional list in the lead up to the AFCON. Of course, before the week runs out, it's going to be trimmed down, because I think camp opens,
I think the deadline CAF gave them is December 10th, 15th. Okay.
15th. So camp opens before then, and the friendly against Egypt has been moved a day further as well. So now a provisional squad was released. William Troost-Ekong was in the provisional squad. Few days after he was released, Ekong came out to announce his retirement from the national team. Felix, let me start with you. What do you make of William Troost-Ekong's retirement from the Super Eagles national team?
I think it is something that a lot of people have probably suggested in time past, but I'm just worried about the timing. I don't know what has transpired behind the scenes. I've heard different things. Some people are saying he's probably not going to be in the final cut for the AFCON team, so he was taking a step. He was being a step ahead to not take himself out before that list is released. Some other people are saying he's the 4 guy. He has to take the 4 for all of what happened during the World Cup qualifier. Other people are saying the fact that he's not playing, he's not played the last 3 games we've played. I think he came off the bench in one of those games. He was on the bench for 2 other ones, including the game that we needed somebody that will come on and play penalty. Our coach was in Awazim and not him. So maybe some people are saying he's not fine. But there are different reasons why he has made that decision. But I thought he should have stayed back and maybe go for this AFCON. It was never going to be a loss. That's if he was going to make the squad. If he did not make the squad, it would have been a good time for him to say, okay, I was hoping to go to this AFCON. I did not. This is me calling it quits. That's my cue to sign out. If he made it to the AFCON, it would have been a chance for him to maybe give us a final. We win the AFCON, it is good. He ends it on a high. We don't win the AFCON, it's still also similar thing like what just happened with the World Cup. So I am particularly worried about the timing. And also when you look at the number of injuries that we've had in defense, Frederick is not going to the AFCON. All I know is just returning back. He's in that squad.
Slight chance.
I don't know. The Nottingham Forest coach said he's not playing for them till the next year. I don't know if he's factoring the AFCON or that's when he'll be able to fully play football. We also Semi Ajayi is here and there with injury. He plays today and he goes back injured. So I particularly would have loved
Ekong to be
Ekong to be here. But some people said the 55-man squad that the NFF or Eric Chell released was a signal to the other players who were beginning to feel too relaxed and not so useful in quotes to the team to do that. There are Nigerians everywhere who would love to play for us. We can always gather a squad of players to come and play for us. 55. This is like the first time I'm seeing a 55. Usually what we know is 35.
Yeah.
Then they trim like
down
10.
to,
When we start 23 man, they remove 12, and then we have about 55 man. Maybe that's a signal to the rest of the players that if you guys are not going to play, there are Nigerians all over the world that want to play.
Timothy, do you find it weird? I mean, Ekong was the MVP at the last AFCON to, retire before a major tournament. as this AFCON is going to be one like no other. So do you find it surprising that he could retire before the tournament kickstarts?
Yeah, I find it surprising, even though of course he would have had his reasons. But I feel like for someone who was the best player at the last AFCON, and then even someone as a captain, recently we know that Ahmed Musa is the number one boy. Of course, he's been the captain for a couple of months now. Maybe off the field there have been some issues, or maybe going on strike and all that. But I mean, when he's leading the team, most times, especially in tournaments or when you have to play a competition or even the qualifier, you kind of see how he does well for himself. And it's very strange for someone who was the best player at the last AFCON, like Felix had described. It could have been his chance to maybe finally lay your hand on the trophy after having so many bronze medals and silver medals. Maybe this is the time to get one gold. But of course, you don't know how these things happen most times. So it is reason, and we appreciate the fact that at least so many Nigerians, like Felix has said, have always called that let him leave the stage before the stage leaves him. So he has decided that he wants to do it, and we hope that we can do. And really, if we're going to the AFCON, Ekong would have not been the number one, or maybe if we're ranking the defenders, it would have not been in the first two for this defensive pairing for the AFCON. So maybe you just felt that since I'm not going to be really involved in this thing, let me just call it quit and leave this national team.
Would have been our Joseph
So guys, are we going to miss more of the player or more of the leadership he brings?
I think.
It's not that deep. I think we are going to miss the leadership. He has not been playing for a while, and like we already mentioned on this table, a lot of Nigerians have been saying maybe his time is due. Maybe he's lost pace, and of course some of his calculations have not been timely. I don't want to say, but we've seen the statement that were released after the South Africa game, bashing him. We saw him coming out on X and all the other social media to quote and say this is what the team has decided. He's the leader of the team that went against the NFL. So I'm not sure we are going to miss the player per se. But if you look at this current Super Eagles squad, we lack leaders. To now be losing the maybe in quotes one that was trying to maybe get the boys to try and be up there. It's heartbreaking. So I would say it's the leadership more than the player that we are going to miss.
Timothy, same
situation same for me. It's the leadership, and like Felix has described, we really do not have leaders. I mean, when we say leaders, I mean, who was talking to a player and was saying it's not just about wearing the captain armband. Even if you can be a captain and you don't even have leadership qualities. We have seen people that they're not even captains and they know how to lead their teams very well in dressing room things, even when they're playing on the field. So that's one thing Ekong had always brought in when he was on the pitch, when he was off the pitch, maybe on the sidelines or on the bench. You saw how much he probably offered to these guys that, guys, let's keep our heads up, let's do this, we can probably push this till the end. That's one of the things. And when I look at that squad, maybe just a Wilfred Ndidi, but the Wilfred in himself right now may not even have a chance of getting full-time action at this point in time. So let's hope that someone takes up the responsibility and says that, I want to be the new leader in this team. Victor Osimhen is that guy, but maybe some people have an issue with his personality and the fact that sometimes maybe ego can come to play in all of those things. But let's see someone maybe in that midfield role that can take up that charge, and that person I feel is Wilfred Ndidi.
Well, talking about next possible captains, I mean, we don't know why Ekong has retired, but he's been on.
Give us exclusive.
We don't know, because it's been on most Twitter replies, setting things straight that not true, that he's his own decision. I don't know if we've seen.
I've seen it. Some people have been allowed to delete their tweets.
Delete their tweets and all that. Now you've already hinted some names. Let's talk about next possible captains now. Felix, I don't know. In some situations, captaincy has been determined by hierarchy, how long you've been in the team. Or we've seen cases where even if you've been in the team for a short time, you've been given the armband, and stuff like that. Now we have a leadership group. Talked about Ndidi, Moses Simon, maybe Victor Osimhen in the mix as well, because Alex. These are the top three names.
Alex,
there's Alex. How did I forget Alex? Alex in the mix as well. Who would you take as your next possible captain, and why? So if it's Alex Iwobi, why and why not? If it's Osimhen, why and why not? If it's Ndidi, why and why not? You know, just give us your pros and cons. So let me start with you because you know the tough decision for you.
It is very hard, and it is hard for very bad reasons that I don't see any leader in the team. It's not like we have enough so many leaders and you are struggling for who to pick. This is a case of there are very few. That's why I'm struggling to pick.
So the names are mentioned are not real leaders for you.
Yeah, Wilfred Ndidi has had the armband for a couple of games, but he does not look it. Maybe in the dressing room, maybe he's because I see he's the one doing those videos. He's the one when they want to unveil a player, when they are doing those, he's always doing those videos and all of that. Maybe it's the life of the dressing room somewhat. Victor Osimhen on the pitch has been a leader. He has tried to take over the he has tried to lead the team, but also we know about he's a volatile player. I would prefer Victor Osimhen to continue being the leader on the pitch that he is
without the armband.
Yes, without, because I feel that can start weighing him down. Because that responsibility of when Nigeria play we lose is the one that needs to come out and speak. When things are not going right is the one that would need to come out and speak. I think it might weigh him down. We already see the way he talks to some of his teammates. We've seen the bashing he had with Boniface. Was it that time that he was pulling out of the pitch and they were trying to pull him back? We saw his reaction to Nwabali that he almost fought on the pitch. So I'm imagining Victor Osimhen with the armband. He's not with the armband and he's already
doing all this, yeah.
So that's why usually I would just say we should do what the French team did with Mbappe. Give your best player the armband because he's already leading on the pitch. But I am just scared.
But that's Osimhen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I would go for.
Scared.
But I'm just scared of what might happen if he takes on that armband because he does not have the armband and he's already like that. And you know sometimes responsibility helps build people. Maybe if he has that armband, maybe that might just be what he needs to grow up and become maybe a leader in the way that people would like to see him. But I don't think Ndidi is a leader. I don't think Alex Iwobi already gets a lot of criticism. Imagine the armband on him and he plays what he plays. Now this one will give captain. Simon Moses, we are not sure if he's good. I don't want a leader that is not sure to start. We've had Ndidi too. Some Nigerians will tell you should not be starting in the Nigerian midfield. Onyedika should be the one starting. So I would have gone for Osimhen because he's a sure starter. He's already leading on the pitch. He's already carrying the team on his back. But I'm scared of what might happen if the armband goes on. If it's something that I can see the future, I know that this armband is going to change him and he will become a better person with his teammates. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but better is better than good. So I would go for Osimhen, but I'm not sure.
Timothy, who would you go for?
Call me crazy, but I would call Calvin Bassey to be my captain.
You're crazy.
Yeah, that's what I said. Call me crazy. but let's look at it. Calvin Bassey plays all games for Nigeria. I mean, he hardly misses any game. In fact, he plays most games 90 minutes.
If he's fit.
Exactly. And he has really not had fitness issues. Off the pitch issues, we have not seen Bassey have any of the pitch issues, or maybe having a scandal here, or maybe having a press conference and saying this, or having an interview and talking off point, or all of those things. So I think Calvin Bassey.
Have you seen him in interviews even? He rarely speaks.
Does he look a leader to you? Like, is he imposing enough?
I mean, I feel like he is. I mean, going forward, we see what he does. Especially, we saw the goal against South Africa. From corners, we see what he does. The way he passes the ball as well. The way he also marshals the defense. He can play on the left side of defense, maybe on the wing back. He can also play on the left central side of the defense, or even on the right side, depending on maybe how the coach wants to set up. Sometimes maybe he wants to use a back three. So I feel like Calvin Bassey for me. But like I said, call me crazy, but it's my decision. And of course, for a team that does not have much leaders, like we have already said, why can't I put someone who who really doesn't have so much surrounding him in terms of controversy and all that, and who would always play, and not just play, he plays very well most of the times. You can hardly call a game and say, Calvin Bassey is playing rubbish, except you just want to be biased. But most times he delivers his best, gives an 80%, and most times he's always fit. So I'll give it to Calvin Bassey for me.
I won't be surprised if someone in the comments will say Stanley Nwabali as well.
I don't think anybody
See,
someone
if Stanley had spent a lot of time in the team and his recent, I don't know, Ogba.
Yeah, like what he has been doing recently has not been happening.
I would put
Give
him
it to
up.
him. Yeah, I get it.
He looks like, and I particularly like leaders. That's why I would maybe consider a Calvin Bassey. I like leaders from, like, when the leader is in the back, in the defense, they see everything in front of them.
Yeah.
They can direct, they can dictate what is going to happen in front of them. So I would have put him there, but he has not spent enough time. I think it would cause issues
Yeah, dressing
in
room
the team.
issues.
Yeah, dressing room issues.
I'm not
If-
even someone that's not playing well. Like, you understand
So
what I'm
considering
saying?
everything, I think we just leave it with Ndidi.
Yeah.
So for you, one line,
Ndidi, let's leave it with Ndidi.
but you analyze the Siemens. But now
I'm skeptical about
We analyze, like you said.
I eventually arrived at Ndidi.
So at the top of your head, one word, one answer. Wilfred Ndidi for you, Felix.
yes, let's take
Timothy,
it.
Without being crazy in DD.
but being crazy.
Calvin
Calvin Bassey.
If I was going to be crazy, you'll see me.
Alright, guys, it's an interactive show. Tell us in the comments who do you think should be the next Super Eagles captain ahead of the African Cup of Nations.
And give your reasons
in
as
Morocco,
well.
and tell us why you want this particular person to be the captain. I would want Victor Osimhen as well, because I mean he's shown he's a leader. We also have our own worries about him as well, but you know, I think it's someone who, because he's if you do a poll now for Nigerians, you definitely, even though sometimes Nigerians
I'm
can
not
be
sure
as crazy
Nigerians
as
would
him,
vote for Osimhen.
but you know, like
Knowing what we know, the Finidi, the Nwabali,
okay.
the
Maybe that's the angle you're looking at. You don't want someone with too many baggage.
Drama, yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure many Nigerians would vote for him.
It doesn't
Like
mean
I
he's a
said,
bad player,
Yeah,
but
I'm
I
saying
mean,
on the pitch, he looks like the best leader we have on the pitch. But being a captain of a team goes beyond like what is done on the pitch. That's why you see many Man United fans don't like Bruno Fernandes being their captain on the pitch, because on the pitch he's always sulking, but off the pitch he seems like the guy that everybody in the dressing room respects. The players respect Victor Osimhen, but he has this sort of aggression that don't sit well with me. So let's stick with Ndidi. Thank you.
thank you.
All right, guys. So as we all know, Wilfred William Chus-Ekong, I beg your pardon, has called it quits on his international football career. I mean, it's always going to be.
Before I go, sorry, do you think more guys would leave the team after the AFCON?
Yeah, I think a couple will. I don't want to call names, but I think
I don't see anyone leaving, except I don't.
Wilfred might.
Maybe
Stamping on the
maybe
stone, but I
maybe
think
Ndidi.
a couple, Moses Simon as well might as well. You know, call it time in the Super
Don't want to
Eagles.
call him, but
I have
Don't
to.
mention two.
You know, the Igbo Wars now gone with the national team. We don't know which wall will be formed next as far as our
Has Balogun
defensive
retired?
line.
when was the last time he played?
Did he make it
like
official,
Cameron
right?
said, I did not say I have officially retired, but he's not playing. He's 38, 39 or so.
All right, guys, we go on another break on the show, and when we return, we'll talk about another man who will be going to the AFCON, who came out all guns blazing in that explosive interview over the weekend. Don't get anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. It's still the Gliders on Bet WGB TV. Well, just before we came back on air, we're still talking about the captaincy. I just had to bring that in the mix. But like we always remind you on the show, just to remind you once again, sign up on the Bet WGB platform. Use our promo code Gliders GLIDERS and claim a bonus credit to enjoy the very best. Stake responsibly and make sure you are at the right age to stake those bets. Guys, welcome back on the show. Mohamed Salah. Definitely one player to keep an eye on in the AFCON. Always will be a legendary figure for Liverpool. Always will be a legendary figure when it comes to African football. He will be playing in the AFCON with Egypt. Liverpool leads. Another leading position bottled in that game. Mohamed Salah, for the third game running, started from the bench. The last 3 games, he didn't play against West Ham. Liverpool won by 2-0. Didn't play again. He came off the bench against Sunderland. It was a game at Anfield, 1-1, it ended. And now the third game at Elland Road against Leeds. Liverpool led that game at some point by 2-0. Leeds came back 2-2. Szoboszlai scored 3-2. Again, set piece goal. Leeds scored 3-3. Yeah, Mo Salah didn't, come out for that game. And after the game in the mix zone, I mean, Mohamed Salah rarely speaks. When things happen, he rarely speaks. Apart from the time when he was demanding for the contract and all that. So this time he came around, and in quotes, these were his words. He said, "I've done so much for this club down the years, and especially last season." He said, "Who signed a new deal at Anfield at the end of the last season? Now I'm sitting on the bench, and I don't know why. It seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. That is how I am feeling. I think it is very clear that someone wanted me to get all of the blame. I get a lot of promises in the summer, and so far I am on the bench for 3 games, so I can't say they keep the promise. I said many times before that I had a good relationship with the manager. This is key. And all of a sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why, but it seems to me, how I see it, that someone doesn't want me in the club." He was pressed further about his relationship with Arne Slot. He said, "Yeah, there's no relationship between us. It was a very good relationship, and now all of a sudden there is no relationship." Now, he was also hinted about if that could be his final game. I mean, he's already inviting his family to the game against Brighton. That'll be his last game before he travels to the AFCON. That game is at Anfield as well. He said to his family, "Come to the Brighton game. I don't know if I'm going to play or not, but I'm going to enjoy it. In my head, I'm going to enjoy that game because I don't know what is going to happen. I'll be in Anfield to say goodbye to the fans and go to African Cup. I don't know what's going to happen when I am there." He said quite a lot in the mix zone. First off, guys, Liverpool are in a poor run of form. Should Mohamed Salah be coming out to say this in the midst of the whole drama happening at that club? Timothy, let me start with you.
Firstly, this is an interview most times you will always get in as an exclusive. Maybe like the one like Ronaldo had with Piers Morgan. But I mean, Salah decided to give this bombshell to everyone. I mean, have it on different platforms for yourselves. And this was,
exactly,
like you said,
mix zone.
on mix zone. Everybody can
make it, yeah.
Exactly. I don't know, but most times as players, you can maybe take things out of proportion with your emotions, and it's very difficult to control. I was reading a piece from James Pearce. I know you know James Pearce very well, a Liverpool correspondent, and I was reading a piece from him, and he was writing a story talking about the fact that many of the senior figures at Liverpool had expected to see this kind of reaction from Mo Salah, knowing that he had been dropped, but maybe they would not have expected him to say much as he had talked about. And then he also talked about in the piece that many of his teammates expected this kind of thing because in the mood on Friday evening, Salah was told by the coach that he was not going to start the game on Friday evening, and his teammates also noticed the mood. And then all of those things, like you said, he had already told his mom to come for the Brighton game, to come and watch the game before going to the African Cup of Nations. Many things can be analysed in this Salah debacle because if you say that the club had promised you a few things when you wanted to sign your contract in April, which made you finally extend with a 2-year deal, then if you are now getting benched, it can be sort of making you feel bad. And then he said that all of a sudden they don't have a relationship. So maybe let's assume that every time when they go to training or when he goes to what's the name? Is it AXA?
Yeah, AXA training.
Yeah, AXA training ground. And when he goes to that place, and there's always that meeting with Slot. Maybe he's someone that hey Mo, Alpha, let's discuss all of those kind of things before a game. Or go to his office, have a few minutes, maybe a 5-minute, 3-minute chat, and all of those things have suddenly stopped happening. We have not seen full details about these things, but I mean, like he said in his press conference, we used to have a relation. In that interview, we used to have a relationship. All of a sudden, we don't have a relationship anymore. So obviously, there's something broken between them. He also mentioned the fact that someone at the club doesn't want him anymore. Who is that person? Is it Richard Hughes? I don't know.
Yeah, but he has to be Edwards or Hughes, because I mean, I think that they're trying to phase him out. Because I mean, the Mo Salah we saw last season, arguably, not even arguably, it's clear as day that he's not lived up to the Mo Salah we know. But even at that, is he the problem? Because the player with the highest goal contributions for Liverpool this season, Cody Gakpo, just had one more than Mo Salah, who people are thinking that okay, he is the problem of the team. But he's been dropped to the bench. Results are still not consistent as you would want from a Liverpool football club.
First of all, I don't like to take sides when players or clubs do whatever they do, because in this football team we know there is no loyalty. We just know there are. It's like politics.
But most times players win.
I am. Not appointing me before, but I would say I'm disappointed in Salah because he has proved Jamie Carragher right. A few weeks ago, when it was always when the results were bad, and after every game, it was always Virgil van Dijk coming out to speak. Carragher came out and said, a few more of the leaders in that team, it should not just be Van Dijk, because he's not the whole problem in the team. That we know how was it November, December, how Salah was speaking to the media every other week when his contract had not been signed, when they had not given him that 2 years contract. He was always speaking about Liverpool, that he wants to stay, he loves the club, he does this. And when they were going through all of those problems, he never spoke. Now he has been benched. Honestly, I don't think a player like Salah should be benched for 3 games consecutively and not play at all in 2. Because if you look at who Liverpool have, it's not like Isak is pulling up threes. Florian Wirtz is still 0-0 what now?
14.
Because the one he thought he scored.
Double.
So Florian Wirtz is not scoring. Ekitike was not scoring until this last week. He scored 2. Isak is not scoring. Cody Gakpo's form has been here and there. So it's not like they have other. If it was a situation that Liverpool had a player that was performing outrightly better than Salah, I would understand him being on the bench, because when he was playing, other people were on the bench. But I can't see why Salah is on the bench for 3 games, and of those 3 games, he has not played 2. That is one. So I can understand Salah being angry, but this is something we could have taken up with what's it called? The manager, go to his office, speak with him. That relationship with his son, I know gets. Maybe that will be the time for it to clear it. If you people cannot clear it, tell him that, okay, by January, the Saudi guys are still interested in me. Now that I have a contract with you guys, you can also make out maybe 100 million and reinvest in the club. You sort out those things. You go to the AFCON, celebrate yourself. Maybe the team gives you a goodbye celebration against the Brighton. The Brighton game that you have invited your family. I'm particularly disappointed, because if I was a Liverpool fan, like I was when Ronaldo did whatever he did with PS Morgan, I would have been disappointed too. You go out and you say the club are trying to throw you under the bus, no relationship with the manager, and you disrespected the players that have played. Because he said something, he said, I've earned the right for what I've done for this club. Football does not work that way. You earn the right by performing.
So don't you think he has a buy for the records he's achieved really?
No, Salah has
that he can get away with some.
Salah has a buy. Salah has a buy. Salah has the grace to have a particular few odd games thinkers and not be criticized like other players would do. But he does not have a right to say he should be playing every game when he's playing bad. I don't know if you get me. If he plays and he plays bad, you can always say for what he has done for this club. If you don't play 90 games and you play 70, maybe the odd 15, 10 were the bad ones. You have that grace. So I would understand if that was the situation, like he was having a few bad games and people were criticizing him and he came out to speak and say, for what I've done, I think I've earned more respect with this thing. But to say, even if I've earned it because of what I've done in the past, I have earned my position in the team in the present. It does not work that way. Otherwise, the club will crumble. And I'm disappointed in him, first off, for proving everybody right that he only speaks when he wants something. And to the manner,
he's making it about himself right now. If you are on a slot, what would you do in this?
I'll bench him in the next game. I'll bench him in the next game, and maybe out of respect for what he has done, hopefully we are winning against Brighton. 86 minutes, I'll bring him on so that the fans can give him that, what's it called? Ovation that he deserves for being Salah. And he's not coming back to the team after the AFCON.
You won't.
He definitely wants to leave. Why didn't they invite him family for Brighton game? That's my final one. Come and share the moment with me. And he also said it, I don't know. If you have a contract with Liverpool and you want to be at the club, you don't say I'll go to the AFCON, when I come back I'll continue doing my job. To say I'll go to the AFCON, I don't know what is going to happen when I'm there. It means you're already open to leaving.
And then like I said, I was reading James Pierce's interview. He spoke to his media, what's this guy's name again? Rami Abbas. He spoke to him on Friday. Was it Friday? On Sunday evening, that was yesterday. He spoke to him and they were having a conversation. So of course these are exclusives from James Spears. So like Felix is saying, it's possible that he leaves the club maybe after the AFCON, and putting one or two together, inviting your family, speaking to your agent. There's no reason to speak to your agent if you want to still remain in a club. But when you start speaking to your agent, then you're trying to source for possible deals. So what Felix is saying maybe just be right. But if I'm on a slot, I'll speak to him first, and it's difficult, but of course they are professionals.
You dey pamper rubbish.
No, it's not pamper rubbish now.
Because he's looking like he's going to be dropped for the Inter game in the Champions League.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm on a slot, you did not come to speak with me, but that's why you are the manager. It's called a managerial role.
He said there's no relationship,
and that's what I'm saying. So the relationship is broken. So maybe there's something is happening. I don't know why the relationship is broken. I've not seen any reason why the relationship is broken. But call him. It's now one thing that you maybe try to call him and he does not respond to you. But if you call him and he responds to you, then have a conversation. Oh, what has happened in this past few weeks? Let's talk about it. Then trash it out. Of course, the meeting could still get heated and eventually there's no resolution, or there's no even terms in whatever you guys decided to speak about. But of course I'll still try to speak to him. That's why I'm the manager. I am the head here and I need to take charge of, at that point, speak to him. Then if anything at the end of the meeting there's no resolution, then let him be the way it be. But I'm not saying if you call him and speak to him, it now means that you should still start him in the next game.
So
it's still your decision.
When Slot speaks to him,
whatever comes out of the meeting will now decide what happens going forward. But still speak to him. That's why you're the manager.
I think what Salah has done, Slot already has a lot on his plate. Already has a lot of pressure from the Liverpool fans. I've seen a few Liverpool creators, Idika was this guy, and a few other people.
Indikalia.
Like I've seen a few people like bashing and Slot already. Now to have possibly maybe their greatest alongside Gerrard, maybe after Gerrard, Liverpool's greatest in Premier League era, going up against the coach, I think he has added more fuel to that fire that is already on the back of Arne Slot. He has not done the manager any justice. Even if Salah leaves and Liverpool falters this season, Shebi, you let Salah go. That's always what they would go back to. He has not made it easier for the club.
And don't you think that's why he's supposed to speak to him? Because knowing that, like Emmanuel has said, most times managers will always be the one to suffer.
I honestly think for a player who has come out to give the kind of interview that Salah gave, he has made his mind up. The way he dragged the contract renewal in first place, I think Liverpool even made a mistake
giving him
that contract. But again, they were afraid of what was going to come. Like, how do you lose the top scorer, one of the top scorers from the last season? He was the top scorer. He was the top scorer from last season. The guy that helped your team win the league. How do you lose him?
And then probably lose strength also.
And lose strength on the free, both of them.
And Van Dijk also at that point was...
So that was all Liverpool were scared of, the backlash that would come from it. But in hindsight now, I think that was a bad decision.
All right, we wait to see if Salah is going to realize he made a bad decision coming out in that explosive interview. Quite a couple of legendary figures have come out to say their thoughts on it. Rooney went as far as saying he's ruined his legacy. At Liverpool, what he's done.
He should not be Rooney speaking.
How about Michael Owen?
He should not be Rooney speaking. Rooney will hold Man United to ransom for.
Michael Owen too was like coming out to say Salah shouldn't be doing that, and some Liverpool fans were like, this same Owen who went to United, and all that. But I mean, these are players.
Even when Felix was talking about Carragher, even Salah himself had already proposed. If I said I know Carragher come out and speak again, but. I feel like at this point the relationship, like Felix said, may have just ended, because when you begin to say all of these things, you're pouring out your own mind and it's difficult.
Finally, guys, Arne Slot. Should he still be on the job? Would you give him more time to turn things around with the way everything is going? It doesn't get any easy for Liverpool. Even the games on paper you thought would have been an easy ride, now it's getting more difficult, even at the Fortress Anfield. because I mean, Sunderland manager, I've forgotten his name now. He came out to say how surprised he was that his team had enough time on the ball. Like they could have won that game. There was a chance for ECD at the end. It was Kesa who made that goal line block as well. So teams are coming to Anfield and knowing that they could take something. So do you think the manager has lost the spark and all of that? Would you give him more time? Do you see him turning things around at Liverpool?
I'll give him more time, because if you win the league for me in a season where we lost someone who was like, maybe if you say one of the greatest Liverpool coaches, maybe you may not be wrong, and then he spent about 9 to 10 years at the club, and then losing him and not knowing what was going to happen and all of those things, and you win the league, and then in the position where you are right now, I don't think Liverpool are below the top 10. They are still in that top 10 zone. It's difficult, of course. I mean, having to come from winning the league and then you are at this point where you are beginning to falter, you can still give him time. I remember saying on one of the few episodes last, where you were also an analyst, where I said it has not gotten to that stage where it's bad. I mean, if you don't sack Ruben Amorim, I know that the management of Man United is different from management of Liverpool, but I mean, Amorim at the club, I'm not sure he has won up to how many games has he won at Man United so far, and then there's still one Jim Ratcliffe somewhere who is saying that he still believes in him and all that. For slots, I'm not sure how many games have Liverpool lost this season.
Quite a lot.
In the Premier League, I'm not sure they've lost more than 6 or 7. And then,
but that's already a lot for Liverpool.
It's a lot for Liverpool, but it doesn't mean that they're in a position where they should be scared about. If you look at the points gap from, if Man United are currently 12th today, if they win their game against Wolves, they'll go up to 4th or 5th, depending on the goal difference that happens. That shows
they can have more goal difference than Chelsea.
They're on 4. Man United are on 3. So that's why I said depending. You don't know what will happen.
It's even 6th. The best we can do.
The thing for Liverpool is they should just be thankful that they won their first 5 games of the season, because as it stands, they are just 3 points.
Yeah, that's why I said
4.
for now it has not gone to that position where we should panic. They can win about 2-3 games right now, and they could find themselves in the top 4. Aston Villa were in shambles in the first few games of the season. They're currently, are they third or maybe third or fourth?
Third on the log,
And so that shows you that how competitive or how tight. Let me not say competitive. How tight the points difference are right now. So it has not gotten to that place where we can now say Liverpool don't have a chance of maybe probably finishing in the top 4 or top 5, as the case may be at the end of the season when the coefficient rankings of decision will be made. So they are not in that position. Of course, the results are not coming as teams would expect, but they are still not in a bad or terrible position where you should say let's sack the manager at this point. But it's still with it. And then for someone who came off winning the league, I mean, that's a card that can only say let's trust this guy. If you have someone who has not won anything or who has not even done any significance at maybe your rival club, and they're still trusting
you want to call them Arsenal?
I mean, and then he's still leading the team, and there's someone who has won the league. It will always be a card. I know we'll get to a point where maybe we are tired of this, we can't continue. But I mean, it's not in a bad position right now, so why should you sack him? Continue to trust him. Maybe for him himself, there's some things he needs to change. He needs to probably try to drop some people. He's dropping Salah. Why can't he drop Gakpo? He's dropping Salah. Why can't he drop Gakpo and all of those things? Put Szoboszlai in midfield. Play Joe Gomez on the right, and stop playing Szoboszlai as a right back. Play him in midfield where he would most likely thrive. Play Chiesa. Chiesa has shown in the few games he has played this season for Liverpool.
He has played the last few games in midfield, and they've still struggled to win Sunderland and Leeds United,
because
whatever, but play the right personnel, then some results will come. Of course, sometimes you still struggle, and it's maybe looking like that season where we can still fight till the end, but it may not be like their best season. But try to play the right personnel, play Chiesa. Chiesa wants to play, make those changes rightly, and you still get results. As much as they are bad, they're still getting results.
I think for an slot.
If Man United had this last season, if Man United had what Liverpool are having this season, I'm not sure many of their fans would have even called for Amorim to be sacked, because they say, of course, he's just coming in. He came in mid-season.
You know why it's so for Liverpool? Because I've seen some couple of fans say he rode on Jurgen Klopp's luck, like he won the league with Klopp's team.
It's easy to say
so that's why people are still feeling like, now this is your first.
That's what I was going to say.
You've signed players and still
it's his success from last season is both his saving grace and his nemesis.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a card.
It is what is giving him that. Let's still stick with him, and also the fact that the table is not that far of the teams on the table on the Premier League table. top 4 is still very much a possibility. And I think Liverpool fans, Liverpool hierarchy will take a Champions League spot for next season with Arne Slot in there. Then they go again. By that time, all the players they brought in this last summer,
hopefully must have settled.
Florian Wirtz, Isak, and Co, they would have settled down, and maybe they would make 1 or 2 more additions to the team. Then they go from there. But also, I think you are asking what is he supposed to do. I think he should. I cannot say he should talk less because they would always ask him a question in the press conference. But he should pick his words. He's setting himself up.
I think he has been speaking well recently.
I was listening to the Leeds post-game conference, and he was saying some things like, and then the long ball came, we could not deal with the long balls. And I said, oh, yeah, we good. I thought we had passed this stage. People were playing how you wanted them to play, and they were still beating you. He went back to saying, we were in a comfortable place, we had the chances, and then the long balls, and then we could not contain it. Things he's saying in the press conference, I think he's setting himself up for drags. And also, like Timothy mentioned, maybe 1 or 2 changes. Maybe you guys should try Chiesa and centre back. That last ditch tackle, it seems like it's better than Konate. Konate, that guy looks like a bag of fufu.
And in January window, I think Liverpool should try to get 2 defenders. I don't know how they want to do it, but that should be their priority.
The one they got, what's it called? This
Leone. Yeah, that's the thing. But if they have defenders, I think at the points Van Dijk and Konate would have been dropped, but there's no way you can drop.
Play centre back. How do you not drop?
No, Gomez. And Bradley. I mean, so many fitness issues with that squad. And to be honest, some of the players have been below par. Konate errors after errors. Van Dijk as well, saying Mo Salah has not been Mo Salah.
Konate, what did they do? And now lots of form under the contract.
I don't even understand. Like there's just an error every game. Van
Dijk continues to do what he knows how to do best. I mean, was it the equalizer Leeds got? Was it Sunderland? He made the pass that made the error. No, it was the game against Sunderland.
Yeah, Sunderland.
He passed the ball and made the error. The next thing you were supposed to do was stick out a foot and go close to the guy, but he kept going back the way he usually do. And then next thing is the person coming at him decided that okay, let me take a shot, and then the shot hit him and deflected into the net. Those are some of the moments you need to. I mean,
for me, it's still one of the best Premier League.
Every passing season,
they prove you wrong.
Alright, guys, let's
like 16 for that list now.
Let's switch now to another manager who's also under fire. Xabi Alonso. Real Madrid lost at home. Something that rarely happens. They lost to Celta this weekend. 2 goals. I mean, there were 3 red cards in that game. Even Hendrick on the bench got a red card. Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid. Felix, how would you sum it up so far, and do you see him getting the boots in the near future?
I don't know about getting the boots. I think Madrid would give him. Saying Madrid will give him time sounds a bit weird on my lips because that team is not known to give you time. So I think he's working on thin lines, so he should be careful.
Also, some squad issues as well.
Yeah, the synergy in the team. Their midfield look as for somebody that was a midfielder, a very top class, world class midfielder. Xabi Alonso has failed to make his midfield anything close to the level he was playing on. Chemeni today, Valverde has been playing at right back mostly, but you look at the Madrid squad and there is nobody that can give you that calm, that control. Aguilera is creative and all of that, but he's a bit lightweight. He gets overpowered sometimes in midfield. Kylian Mbappe scoring and picking the ball from midfield, driving to go and scoring long range goals, but his partnership with Vini is suspect. They don't look like they work very well together. And we saw at the Club World Cup there was this Gonzalo guy that he missed a sitter yesterday. It's a very fantastic header that should have placed into the back of the net when it was still 0-0, or was it 1-0, I think. But he has not played enough. I honestly thought that boy was going to get a lot of game time after the performance.
Why is Master Antonio not playing?
I think that one is injured now because he's an Alonso favourite.
Yeah.
He was playing him a lot. Gonzalo was the one I thought was going to play because he would have fit in well. If you are going to say maybe create that competition, if Vini is going to feel some kind of way and is threatening to leave, Mbappe would feel very much welcome and at home playing on the left hand side. Gonzalo can do the Giroud job that Giroud did for him during the last World Cup, dropping off balls from Mbappe to score a few himself. Because they have some good crossers of the ball. Carreras, Alvaro can cross ball. Trent can cross when he's fit. Carvajal can cross when he's fit, but they are rarely fit. So I think Xabi Alonso is working on, especially with the form that Barca has picked up lately. Is it not 4 points gap between the two of them?
Yeah.
Now from Madrid being comfortably at the top and Barcelona being suspect every week with their high line, to Barcelona now turning the corner, beating Atletico Madrid, beating everybody that is in front of them, to Madrid struggling and even losing at home. And also another thing is indiscipline in that Madrid team. The red cards they got yesterday. Alvaro collected 2 red cards in the same instance.
Exactly.
Yellow,
Yeah, this the same.
The one on the bench, Enrico know they play normally. Now they don't even give him time to even stay as picking up till January before he plays again. So there is all of those situations that he needs to fix, and it does not look like he has a stronghold of that Madrid dressing room. That might be the reason Madrid will let him go, not necessarily what is happening on the pitch. Because if they fumble in the league and all of that and go ahead to maybe do well in the Champions League, we know Madrid would always take the Champions League over the La Liga.
All right, 4 points below Barcelona. At some points they were like 6 points ahead of Madrid, and now Barcelona have leapfrogged them on the log. Timothy, your thoughts on Xabi Alonso? Do you still see him in the job in the next fortnight?
Of course.
It's Real Madrid. Talk about Real Madrid.
It's still going to be on the job till at least January, if things don't change, and then maybe from then they can, because what's his name, Florentino Perez is not known to give so much time to coaches, and if Don Carlo had I don't want to say poor season, but it was not the best of season for Don Carlo last season, and it was not sacked, then I think that Xabi Alonso also can stay till at least January, and then of course they'll win a few games. They'll still try to chase Barcelona at some point, and give him time. But if things don't change, maybe managing the squad, handling all of this situation, and maybe in January, if they can let Vini leave, let the distracted guys leave. Let's know the people that you want to work with. If Rodrigo, if you don't want to work with him, let him leave. Work with those, bring in those you want to work with. Try to create a synergy in between all of the players together, and then keep your squad going. But there's no point keeping. I mean, you have decided that you're not going to use Rodrigo, and then you have also decided that you're not going to let him leave. I mean, some of these things come to play. Hendrick has been in the social media recently talking about the fact that he wants to play football, and I think they are trying to secure a loan deal for him in January. We know the contract situation with Vinicius Junior. If these players want to leave, let them leave. Let the ones who want to stay, let them stay, and then work with those guys and try to put your house in order, and then continue to push to the very end.
Let's go to the Serie A now as we wrap up on the show. I mean, Inter annihilated Como to an extent that Fabregas said he wants to watch their game against Liverpool in the Champions League. Now, 4-0 win for Inter against Como. I like Fabregas. I mean, young coach doing his beats at Como.
He's obsessed. He's still going to come.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, it was the one. It was the first choice before Como said they were not going to let him leave.
Yeah.
Then we got Christian Kivu.
So he was so impressed with the game that he said he wants to watch Inter against Liverpool in the Champions League. But let's talk about Conte and Napoli now. 2-1 win against Juventus, top of the table. How impressive have you been with Antonio Conte so far with Napoli in the Serie A?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm going to talk about every club in the Serie A, especially the top five teams, I would say I've been impressed with all of them. I don't think in the last 6 to 7 weeks we have had one person top the table. At the point it was Milan, then Inter Milan, then there was Roma, then Napoli. At the point it was Napoli, then there's been that switch. So I feel like it's been a case of, I don't know how to describe it, but for all the coaches, okay, let's do well in this game. The next week, let's go and draw. Let's give AC Milan the chance to top the table this week. AC Milan next week, okay, let's give Juventus the chance to top this week. The next week, let's give Inter Milan the chance to top this week. But for Napoli themselves, they've been very decent. I don't know, Lukaku, without Lukaku, then having Rasmus Højlund, I mean, it's been really, really perfect. Kevin De Bruyne in the addition with McTominay, who had a fantastic season. McTominay has still continued from where he left off last season, scoring goals, getting into crucial areas, also giving some impressive passes. And maybe I'll say the buy for them this summer was Rasmus Højlund, because I mean he's been scoring so many goals. Kevin De Bruyne has also in a few games done his beats. I know we know Kevin De Bruyne is not that guy that can give you the 100% he used to give maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. But I mean, with the little he knows how to do, he has still put in his efforts, and really nice that at least they are competing. We have the likes of Liverpool who won the league last season and they are struggling with the way they are playing the football right now. But I mean, winning the league last season until the final day, and at this point again, it's looking like something like that, and you are still pushing yourself in that top 3, top 4 competition, then really, really nice from Antonio Conte. But I mean, I don't know who's going to win the league this season. It's very difficult. Nobody wants to go 6 points clear. Nobody wants to go 7 points clear. They want to top the table today, come back to second next tomorrow, top the table today, go back to third next tomorrow, then go back to first. I mean, it's been so much of a switch. I think Napoli are on 31 points. Is it 31 or 32?
31.
Now Inter Milan are 30. Then up to the top 5, I don't think there's a 4-point difference between those teams.
Yeah.
So it's been really, really tight.
Just 4 points separating the top 4.
Exactly.
In the Serie A. Juventus not in the top 4 as it stands by virtue of that defeat. I mean, one thing surprising for me in Serie A is how they share coaches amongst themselves. You know, today.
MPFL 2.0.
Today, you see, Spalletti is currently now at Juventus, if I'm not mistaken. Because Napoli at some point, really, you know, they know how to find a way and give themselves.
What's this Juve coach, former coach? What's his name?
And all that.
Allegri is now at AC Milan.
You know, Gasperini is now at Roma.
Yeah.
Roma
Conte has done both Juve and Inter.
And now, you know, I find it fascinating. You know, how the rotate managers amongst themselves. But, you know, it's been really tight, really competitive so far this Serie A season. So, you know, quite some interesting turn of events as far as football is concerned. And that is where we will draw the curtains on the show today. It's been wonderful. It's been a fun time with the guys as well as we continue to build up to the next couple of games that will come. We've got Champions League games to come this midweek. Interesting games to look forward to. Of course, league fixture returns back in the weekend. The MPFL also still there. Timothy, your guys on top. Ikorodu City, if I'm not mistaken, still top of the log. I mean, it would be quite surprising if they go on to win the MPFL come the end of the season. Rivers United as well, still holding it strong as far as the MPFL is concerned. Guys, my name is Emmanuel Sebastian. I've done this alongside Felix and also Timothy. Reminder once again, the Gliders are still building up to the African Cup of Nations in Morocco. And stick with us, continue to engage, continue to like, continue to share all our posts, and continue to also drop your comments. We see them, we appreciate them, we love them. Continue to support us and enjoy the very best of the Gliders on Bet WGB TV. Emmanuel Sebastian signing out till I come away again next time. Gonna be the same lineup next edition of the show. So you're gonna see same lineup, 3 of us on the next edition of the show. Enjoy the rest of your week and bye bye.